Hello everyone, so welcome back to another video. So this is the notorious oil rig level. This is the level that I hated the most because my range build wouldn't work. I ended up getting 321 as you can see here, but I really had to change things around. It was a lot of time spent deciding on what I would do and then trying to maximize things. This is where I really felt like I was pushing it in terms of trying to get the time down. And just felt like I was going fast and fast and fast, but I ran this level so many times and it was frustrating. I tried beating this time as well, and then I think this was the level my run got invalidated at the beginning because I didn't actually show the ending properly, so I ended up having to re-record this. So this is the second time I managed to get this time, I think. But yeah, as you can see, I've played this over 147 times, I've completed it 80 times on very hard, and I've aborted 66 times. Should tell you all you need to know. At this point, as you can see here, 322 on this one was the fastest I could get at this point in time until I shaved a second off, and then I was really happy. Obviously, with speedrunning, you want to try and get as low as possible, so every second counts, especially in competition. This level is set up as a giant oil rig in the center, and then extra platforms that you have to fly to, beat some mini bosses and mobs, and then beat the last boss. And my ranged builds and other melee builds would not work. The whole thing being that there is a slight exploit in this that you can use, where if you fall in the water, in the current version 8.6, if you fall in the water, you spawn directly on this central part of the rig here that we can see on the pause screen for the moment. So that's great for fast traveling. The problem is that if you fall in and you have a quantum burst build, there's a bug where it thinks you're still in quantum burst when you're not. So it's a waste of quantum burst because you can't get back into it. So it's a pain. And the only way that I could figure out how to do this one was going all in on quantum and melee instead, because while my range build could just massacre things really fast, this one really relies on speed and power, and that's something that my range build did not have. So I was mulling around with stuff for a while and managed to come up with this build, which was very frustrating to use. It relies on you getting quantum very fast and by pure luck, and then mixing all of most of the quantum nodes together to increase the amount of time you're in quantum, the amount of damage that you do, and then you literally just go all in with melee. And as you'll see here, it got pretty crazy. Like I said, at this point, I was getting frustrated because I couldn't find any way to do this, and then just decided, you know, I'll just have a laugh and run quantum and see what happens. And after it worked the initial couple of times, I ended up, you know, trying to go through it over and over and over again, and it literally became pure RNG in terms of when I got quantum here. The idea is that in the first wave of enemies, I want to get it like that, where you get it pretty early on, and then the idea is you go Excel instead of Devastate, because Devastate does not increase your speed. And from here on out, the idea is just to speed around the middle platform as fast as possible and killing all of these mobs. Now, there's 4 main mobs on this, one of which I killed just there, that are really tanky. That have some really nasty attacks that can get you from range, and then the rest are just standard mobs that you can kill pretty quick. So the idea is kill the main 4, clean up any stragglers, and then immediately move on to the next area before the dialogue triggers, so that you're already at the next platform and waiting to kill something. But also, you have to be in quantum burst again with this, so it's a case of triggering quantum, I think 2 to 3 times. And each time it has to be accelerate just so you get more hits in. It's not about so much like raw power on this for me, it's just how fast I can perform each area without losing speed or time. And the one thing that really annoyed me about this, apart from the RNG, was the platform section here because there were multiple times where I'd get stuck there because there'd be an enemy over the other side of the platform that I hadn't seen or taken into account. As you can see here, we're already at the first platform. We're just skipping to the second one now. We just wrecked the boss. Or the mini-boss, I should say. They don't like melee damage as much as they could soak up my range damage pretty easily. And the way that we've got this set up, the added Quantum Burst node does fire damage, to which these mini-bosses are weak against. Like I said before, my ranged build could not do this quick enough. It couldn't burn through these things. It could only really burn through the mobs on the main platform. So this was the only thing I could do. And yeah, it was nuts, because lots of RNG. By this point, I think we're like 2 minutes 30 or something, or roughly around 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 40 into the level. The idea is we have to kill this main boss now, and we're just not going to sit near him. Not in front of him anyway. He covers the entire platform in mobs and then just swipes it. So the idea now is we just slice away until he drops his stamina, and then we go all in for the last little bit and try and kill him as fast as possible, because if you leave him, he does some really long and stupid attacks that take forever, and I just wanted that skip. You know, the skip there when you kill him before he manages to do any of his attacks, practically, that saves you so much time. So there were plenty of times where, even with this build, I would run, and what would happen is the boss would move differently, or I would miss a hit, or I'd accidentally trigger Devastate instead of Accelerate, and as a result I wouldn't get to the platform in time, or I would miss the boss, and then I wouldn't take as much health off it, which would then result in it doing its long-winded attacks, and would result in aborts. And by week 3 here, this is the point where I was, up until this point in the competition, I was in second place. And this is more or less where it was make or break for me, because if I wanted to keep my lead going into week 4, ahead of the other competition, I had to set a good time. So this was more or less where I was freaking out, where I was like, if I can't shave off every little second, then it might come back to bite me. So eventually, this was as fast as I could go with this build, and I was really happy about this. I still am. It just took a lot of time and a lot of effort to get this done the exact way that I wanted. And then at the end, obviously, QB runs out. We get this dialogue. I'm not sure whether the dialogue before this and the cutscene counts, but yeah, 321 on the oil rig with that build. Again, it's all RNG, but yeah, it's messed up. It's messed up, that build, but it is fun, and it gives you a good sense of speed when you're using it. And it works for you anyway. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed hearing my thoughts and behind the scenes on this. And I shall see you on the last video, and then hopefully, after that, we will get the results. So, until the next video, hope you've enjoyed. Bye!